egotistically, I call this Tim's law, inverse law of software quality. The more important the thing, the worse the code. And there's some, organizational psychology theory around this, but essentially, the code behind Instagram is infinitely better engineered than the code behind a NASA rocket ship. And I hate that, or like your Volkswagen car. It's just how it is, and there's a couple of reasons why, but essentially, if you can find some super niche thing like the operating system for a car, or maybe get the clearance to work with nuclear reactors, there's a lot of work to be done there. Like nuclear reactors still run on Fortran and COBOL, man. Like they need some help. Bank software still runs on COBOL. Like I have a friend whose parents came out of retirement because they couldn't find any people to program bank software in COBOL. And so there's a lot to be done in writing these niche libraries that are open source where people can see it. Because the thing for me is that if I didn't make Poly open source, I wouldn't have nearly as much business. People wouldn't be able to believe in me. I don't have a PhD. That's like, the proof in this field is you either have to have a PhD or a corpus of work that is obviously there. And so I guess what I'd like to see in the future for Go developers is writing, scientific-esque or heavy industry software that's critical in Go or, any other language that's appropriate, that's well documented in open source. And maybe with the nuclear reactor stuff, you probably couldn't make that totally open source. The U.S. government may have something to say about it. But, I think there's some real value there because then you start having clients come to you and go, hey, can you adapt this for our needs, our specific car? And that's kind of how I've made my career.